position.
You say that Nigerians, majority of them are not happy. I don't know how you came to that conclusion, because you also did say that the change that they're looking for may not come to pass. It's in the early days yet to come to that kind of conclusion, because at the moment, no bill has been rejected, nothing whatsoever. And besides, the president has always said that, look, he will work with anyone who emerges. Isn't that being broad-based and giving that hand, extending that hand of fellowship? More so, now that we've seen former speakers, other members, all supporting and congratulating those who have emerged in the National Assembly.
Fantastic. I flew in from Lagos yesterday with somebody who looked at me and said, Dr. Tanko, you have done the best and all of those ones. But he can tell me that Nigerians are not happy. And I asked him why. He said, for them, you see, this politics, the way the technocrats and those who know politics think about it is different from what the people from the outside view it. Democratically, what is done is constitutional and it is okay. You understand? But for them, if they don't see anything that completely depicts a new era from what they are already used to, they feel that they are being defeated from what they voted for. Whether right or wrong, we need to educate them for them to understand that what transpired was just a constitutional, and then the National Assembly has its own way, modus operandi. And that is the reason why I was advocating that both the executive, as it were now, and then the Senate and the Federal House of Representatives should be able to show Nigerians that what we did was not in any way inimical to what we promised to deliver to you. Now, they will be at rest. Because as long as if it doesn't show so, then they will start being agitated. Then what they have already labored for may not come to pass. And that's the reason why I said that, yes, no bill has been passed, but the disharmony is already showing in the House.
Well, Dr. Tanko, I'd like to, for the purpose of this discussion, you know, you keep saying the House, the House, the House. And, you know, there are two chambers for the National Assembly. You have the chambers for the House of Representatives. You also have the chambers of the Senate. And yes, the two of them both had leadership tussle. Now, would you say that what happened in the Senate was the same that happened in the House, considering how they've both reacted in their first sitting?
Look, it was evident already, a bloc was already being formed even before the elections. Both Dogara and Saraki had made it critically clear that they would not partake in any pre-election that would show a candidate. So the early warning sign has already been made. I expected that if anybody wants to make peace and then have a one-house agreement without going to the floor, those meetings should have taken place a night before that or a day before that, when the early warning signs has already been established. You can see both Dogara and Saraki emerges because they are playing what I would call hard politics. And they took care of what is already in the constitution of their own houses. So they are careful as regard to they are sure of what they wanted. It's only that the other part who was trying to, you know, institutionalize the party decision was not able to reach out to other colleagues, still expecting that probably the election would just go their own way. But then Saraki is a hard politician. Don't forget, Saraki was able to defeat Igun Babaoloye in his own home. So you don't play hand-glove politics with such an individual. You would have bring him in, let him understand exactly what the demands of the people and the party is. And if they all agree, they can be able to chant a common cause. So for me, it is very, very crystal clear. The president and the party need to be careful because Nigerians have entrusted their belief that Nigerians will be better off, or the gains that already been achieved over the years, more will be achieved.
Dr. Tanko, I'm sorry I have to interrupt you, but yes, I want, you know, a more specific answer. You've said that, yes, there were divisions, and it was obvious that these divisions were there. I mean, we saw the straw polls, but then we saw that one happened with the members of the House of Reps present. We saw that the other one did not happen with all the senators present. And so, as at the first sitting yesterday in the House of Representatives, you saw that it would seem that they had put it behind them and they were forging ahead. They passed their first motion yesterday. In the Senate, we saw APC senators stage a walkout. Do you see the dynamics being different in both chambers?
Well, no, it's very clear there is difference. Even in the election, there was a full house in the House. In the election, there was a full house in the Federal House of Representatives. It's only in the Senate. So there is a kind of a better cohesion in the Federal House of Representatives than in the Senate. That one is evident.
So how do you think this will affect reconciliation? That's the question, because don't forget that also in the Senate, you also have a deputy Senate president who is a member of the PDP.
No, it is very simple. You just have to take care of, everybody has to come to the round table to discuss what exactly is it that we've left behind undone, because we don't want a divided house that can stop development that we want to instill into governance. They need to quickly sit down and harmonize a situation. You can't run away from the fact that no matter how it is in politics, if I have an interest and you have an interest and you defeat me, it will take a long period for me to heal those wounds. It's very, very evident. You saw the wife of Tinubu, Senator Tinubu, even when she was even presenting her deck, she refused to shake the elected Senate president. So there are other people too who will have that particular. So they must quickly put this behind them. It's very, very important for us as politicians and political parties.
Mr. Tanko, a moment here. Putting this behind them is pretty hard for some, as we have seen in that particular video. And you just reminded us of that again. But how do you think they can sort this out? Because from your analysis, it would seem that the leadership of the APC goofed at the start, the way you analyze it, knowing full well these are politicians, they all have their personal interest, political interest, and if you know that, well, there's no, small, fry amongst them in this whole arithmetic, why didn't they go on the round table to discuss this?
Well, ab initio, a lot of things, sometimes we take a lot of things for granted. We always believe together. When we are talking together, we all believe that sometimes we are family. But you see, the way you see a hand, when I put my hand, the way you see it from the left is different from the way you see it from the right. But then your ability to understand that it is one hand is very, very important. So it is very important that my colleagues and chairman of the APC show his leadership role by calling his house, all of his members together to discuss with them, to look at the collective goal, ab initio, the collective goal, which is very important for the interest of all of us, so that they can now agree and put it behind them. And it has to be done quickly, so that to show control. Because no matter how it is, if you let it loose for them, it will continue to have a multiple effect, and people will start consolidating from a different angle. But once you show leadership and care that, okay, fine, it has happened and all, let us now look at how do we midwife it. A lot of things can happen in the future. But every member of a party wants to see that his leader loves him as equal as the way he loves his opponent. That is how it is. And you give me equal opportunity to ventilate my position. So whatever I ventilate my position, maybe a superior argument may come on and I will agree on it. But one thing is certain, that my interest has been noted and been taken care of. Then everybody will now queue into line that, yes, we are still together. Maybe later on, another opportunity may come for the other one to take up a challenge in taking care of one position or the other. This is a very normal culture in politics.